Folks, thanks everyone for being here, and especially I want to thank the mayor for joining us. I'm Brad Sherman from America's Best Named City, Sherman Oaks, and about a dozen years ago, Congress suspended the idea that members of Congress would try to get money for particular projects in their district. And last year, we reversed that decision. I think it was wise. I've been able to secure $9 million for projects in the South and West San Fernando Valley. And the largest of those projects is here. And we will have a few other events like this with regard to the other projects, particularly those aimed at providing health care to those who do not have coverage and providing help to the homeless and the dispossessed. The Sepulveda Basin, as you know, is owned by the Army Corps of Engineers. They own it for one purpose, and that is to control floods down the Los Angeles River and to literally flood this basin. We don't do that very often, particularly not in a drought. So the other 363 days a year, this is the central park of the San Fernando Valley. It's a place where we spend our weekends cheering our kids when they score a goal or hit a home run. It's a place where you can see a heron or an egret. And it's a place where people from all ages can be so far away from noise and traffic and really commune with nature. That's why whenever I've been able to seek federal funds for the San Fernando Valley, I've focused on the Sepulveda Basin. A decade or so ago, we secured about $5 million, chiefly for Bielenson Park, named after my predecessor and across the street, and for Bull Creek and restoration there. And that's why this year I'm fighting for $4 million for San Fernando Valley sports fields, including the Balboa complex right over there. But today we're here to celebrate the $3 million I was able to get to be the anchor for what will be a $22 million project on these 30 acres, taking land that isn't used for anything and turning it into recreation and particularly sports fields. I commiserate with soccer dads and soccer moms who may see a game scheduled at 7 in the morning. Meaning you got to get the kids up at 5:30 on a Saturday or a Sunday because there aren't enough soccer fields in this city. Well, we're going to have more. This is overall a $22 million project, and I want to commend the city for funding the vast majority of that to provide multi-purpose sports fields, lighting, irrigation, native landscaping, and active connections to the G line, we used to call it the Orange Line, and the National Park Trail System. The project that we're here commemorating will also be useful during the 2028 Olympics. Mayor, thank you so much for bringing the Olympics back to Los Angeles. A high point in my life was 1980, and I'm looking forward to another high point that you are responsible for. And so this project will be useful to those games as training facilities and also to the Paralympic Games as well. So the $3 million federal dollars will be used for what I was told by LA City Rec and Parts would be the anchor, and that is a building that will have a community room where I hope to see the neighborhood councils meet, including the Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council. And the Valley has a civil society that rivals anything in this country. More organizations, chambers, councils, advisory committees, service clubs, and they'll all have a home in that community room. In addition, we'll have restrooms, thereby making this land available as a full public park, and we'll have a ranger station where rangers can provide for public order, deal with accidents, and be first on the line to deal with any outbreak of fire. So the Army Corps of Engineers has a long-term plan for the Sepulveda Basin. This is fully consistent with that. I I want to thank the Audubon Society, the Wildlife Steering Committees, and all the groups that give us advice on how we can use the Sepulveda Basin 363 days for our community and 2 days a year, maybe if we get some rain, as a flood control basin. So now it's my honor to introduce a man who needs no introduction, the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, a strong advocate for this very facility, Eric Garcetti.
Thank you so much, Congressman. Thank you for your friendship and your incredible representation of our San Fernando Valley. Two Valley boys who every single day know that this is the center and the heart of a great city. And I want to thank all of our activist community advocates that are here as well. As a kid who grew up on the other side of the basin, came here almost every day, who practiced my high school baseball right here in these fields, who walked the Los Angeles River with my father. This is very sacred ground to me personally, not just as a mayor, but whether it's Lake Balboa, Encino, Tarzana, Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks. We have some of the most incredible communities around here. And this serves more than just the neighboring communities. It serves really the region. And so your leadership, Congressman, you've been an extraordinary partner to this city, an extraordinary friend to these neighborhoods, and way to go bringing home the tax dollars that they produce to come back to them as well. So give our great Congressman Brad Sherman another round of applause as well. And thank you. This is such an exciting time for Los Angeles. I know we've gotten through a couple of the toughest years of our lives, but we have so much to look forward to. I was at Caballero Creek's intersection with the LA River just a week and a half ago with Councilmember Bob Blumenfield, where we broke ground on what will be the newest park in Los Angeles. We're finishing up the bike lane that'll go all the way from where the LA River starts and help us stitch 51 miles through 15 jurisdictions all the way to Long Beach. Imagine starting in Canoga Park and biking all the way down to Long Beach. If I ever made that, I'd certainly need a car to pick me up because I couldn't make it back. But it is such an amazing part of what's happening. And I'm so glad, Congressman, you brought up the Olympics, because in 2028, one of the things when we were able to win the Olympics, I said, as a Valley boy, the '84 Olympics skipped the Valley, and we're not going to let that happen. So we're going to have, we don't know how many events, but at least 3, as maybe as 5 or 6 different events right here in this basin. We're going to make this the best recreational and sports facility, not just in the Valley, but we think maybe in Los Angeles, period. And so this investment lays down that seed for civic activism, for sports diplomacy, for allowing us to have fitter lives and healthier tomorrows. And we know that for somebody who always delivered, we promise we will deliver our part from the city of Los Angeles. And let me thank our city's Department of Rec and Parks. I know we have AP Diaz here, who's our executive officer, and Jimmy Kim, our assistant general manager, and a whole bunch of their team who make this happen. Give them a round of applause, because they every single day suit up in some cases or put on their recreational gear and get out there. And we are so proud that in winning the Olympics, you'll remember the history, France and we were the 2 finalists. It was going to be a zero-sum game, 1 winner. We suggested the Olympics. What if you gave us both an Olympics? They said, no, terrible idea. We never do that. A few months later, they came back to us and said, we don't know what to do. There's 2 finalists. What if we give you both some Olympics? And we said, great idea. And it was only a question of who would go first, Paris or Los Angeles. And we were able to say to Paris, because we could do the Olympics in 3 months or 3 decades. We are almost always ready for the Olympics. We said we're willing to go second with an investment up front first. And we became the first Olympics to get $160 million up front, which is going to Play LA, helping sports be accessible for every family regardless of cost. For $10, you can have every kid play every sport and not worry about the uniforms, the coaches, the fees anymore, and maybe even see some medalists from Lake Balboa who will medal in their own backyard when the Olympics comes here. So this really is a great spark, Congressman, for that entire vision of making sure that we have a city that acts on its values, that promotes fitness for everybody, and really a reflection of Washington working at a time so many people feel that Washington is broken. This congressman reminds us that it can work, it does work with the right advocate. So thank you so much. And brevemente también en español, porque estamos en una ciudad de muchas lenguas. Estamos aquí para celebrar una inversión en nuestras comunidades, nuestras familias y nuestro futuro. Una instalación que se construirá aquí en la cuenca Sepúlveda, que será un lugar para que las familias pasen tiempo juntas y los jóvenes jueguen. Gracias a nuestro representante Brad Sherman por su liderazgo en Washington en un tiempo muy difícil por el país. Este es un parte de nuestra visión para expandir acceso a los deportes a todas comunidades y porque todos en esta ciudad merecen acceso a los deportes y oportunidades recreacionales sin importar su código postal. Estamos creando más oportunidades para toda la gente aquí en Los Ángeles y quizá hasta serán los próximos en representar al equipo de los Estados Unidos en los Juegos Olímpicos en 2028 y los Juegos Paralímpicos también. Gracias al congresista Sherman por todo su arduo trabajo y por la inversión aquí en la cuenca Sepulveda. And with that, I think I'm tossing it back to you, right, Congressman? Come on out of the shade and get some more vitamin D. Thank you for your great leadership.
Eric, thank you very much. I want to put in a plug for our constituent service booth over here. Talene Kaluglian is back there, and I'll just put in a pitch for her work. Imagine a federal agency makes a mistake. It could happen, could affect you. You talk to Talene, she works very hard, she solves your problem, and then I, Brad Sherman, take the credit. It's an outstanding system. The next speaker and our final speaker is A.P. Diaz from Los Angeles City Recs and Parks, the man who will be responsible for turning this into an incredible sports complex, and we look forward to hearing from you. AP?
Thank you, Congressman, and thank you all for being here. It's an amazing privilege to stand here today, and Mayor, thank you for recognizing the hardworking men and women of Recreation and Parks. You know, we all get to go back to our air-conditioned cars in about 5 minutes, 3 minutes if I keep on task here. But these men and women are out here every single day, particularly in the summer, and it gets hot in the valley. And so we salute you for doing your work so that others can come and recreate here. And speaking of recreation, I just want to say thank you to the congressman, thank you to the mayor, thank you to our city council for really believing and investing in the valley. And I see so many community members here. I was a neighborhood prosecutor in this area, and I loved working with the community members because you are the bread and butter of this community. This is your town. This is where you grow up. This is where you recreate and live, and you love this community and you love the valley. And the valley is indeed a very special place, and it's easy for us to forget with all of this open space that it takes and requires investment into this land to ensure that there are opportunities for kids and for seniors, places of recreation. And so with this type of federal dollars and investment, we are going to begin planning and dreaming the things we love to do in recreation and parks and imagine ways that we can serve the public, allow for those community meetings, allow for places for kids to come, create more cooling centers. I think we need a few more of those, and they provide such a service to our seniors when it's really hot in the summer months. So we're planning, we're ready, and this money is going to be well spent and well used. And I also just want to thank the mayor for dreaming about the Olympics, because there's going to be even more investment in this area. So when we do more recreational opportunities for children, we keep them away from the negative elements that tug at them in society. And we need that more than ever. And so we're really very excited, and we're proud to roll up our sleeves and do the good work. So thank you all for believing in us. Thank you for your investment, and we'll continue to do good work for you here in Recreation and Parks. Thank you, sir.
So I want to thank the neighborhood council representatives who are here. I've represented Lake Balboa. We also have Encino and even Reseda, and we're going to have a community room where at least some of those neighborhood councils could gather and meet. I'm going to ask the mayor to come up for the check presentation, and after that we'll take a couple of questions from accredited press. I promised that this would be a short event, so we'll hear from the accredited press in just a second.
Nice to meet you. This is great, everybody. Thank you. I can get everyone to look here, please.